usually only get that kind of applause when I talk to family, so I hope that's the case here this evening. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come and address you for just a few minutes. As many of you may have known, we've had some transitions within the Division of Student Affairs. Many of you, I believe, have probably worked personally or know Dr. Charles Neese. As a Division of Student Affairs, Dr. Neese is now our interim Vice Chancellor. And looking at many of the things that were in Dr. Neese's portfolio, we had to kind of reshuffle some things and look at some different things. And I had the great opportunity to step into some additional responsibilities, and one of those is the opportunity to engage with ASUCM and really support the great work that ASUCM is doing. And to also the Office of Student Life is in my portfolio. The campus store is in my portfolio. Graduate Student Services is also an area that I'm responsible for. And I'm still also maintaining the director position for the Center for Career and Professional Advancement. A little bit about my background, thought it might be helpful to kind of share. I probably have been on a college campus for 43 years. I grew up in a college town. I grew up as on a college in a campus environment. My father was a retired elementary professor. Had been a chairperson for about 30 years in his role. I did everything on campuses, was the place where I spent almost all of my youth, getting in all kinds of trouble on campuses. Understanding what tenure meant. I was the only kid in kindergarten, I think, that understood tenure, and the tenure process. And so for me, a university life and the opportunity to be an advocate for students at the university comes very, very naturally to me. I've worked on a variety of campuses. I first started in an East Coast person. So I first started working for a small 2-year institution in Center City, Philadelphia. Had about maybe 5,200 students. I left that for a campus of 52,000 students when I went to work for Ohio State University for about 7 years. Worked for Colorado State University prior to coming here about 4 years ago in that particular piece. Universities are my passion. Helping people unlock their passion is also my passion. And you all have demonstrated a passion for serving students in this campus. And for that, it's a privilege for me to have the opportunity to work and support all of you in your initiatives moving forward. I hope you'll consider me as an advocate, as a person that can block and tackle when necessary, but also holding you all accountable to helping us understand the pulse of the campus. That's really what I think is the most important thing. That's why I feel you're here, and your voice is an important one as you're representing a lot of our students. And I will hold that accountable to you as this group to be able to do that. But we'll certainly help you figure things out as you kind of move through that process to do that. I'm happy to answer any questions. I really just wanted to introduce myself. I hope you have the opportunity to come back and spend some more time as I'm following all the things that are happening. I'm watching, but in a very supportive way to be able to do that. But I hope that if there's anything I can do, or our team at the Division of Student Affairs can help you in your efforts, don't hesitate to call on me to be able to do that. That's why I'm here. I'm happy to open up to any questions that you may have. I'll take that as a moment of very, very deep reflection, and not that you don't have any questions. I'm located in the Student Services building. That's where my home office is. But please stop me as I'm heading around campus. I try to attend and support as many things as I can. I've got 2 little ones at home, a 5 and a 1-year-old. They're the best part of my day. But I'm going to raise them to understand that a college campus is part of the extension of their home, just as I did as a kid growing up. So you might see me with them around here. So please stop and say hi. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out. I'd rather know about them and have the opportunity to dialogue about them with you in a way that would be most productive. Great. Thank you so much, and get on back to the
All right, moving on to the chair's report. Bring this up. So, hi everybody, welcome to our 3rd ASUCM Senate meeting. All I have to go over with you guys today is the UC Leaders Conference, as well as how Senate's going to probably deal with people within and outside of the organization when it comes to legislation and other processes. Right now, UC Leaders' tentative date is Sunday, March 1st, 2015. Please mark your calendars and keep that day open. It is a leadership development conference for high school students around Central California, numbering around 300 students. After extensive conversation with Steve, I've realized that this can be an incredible event for the school if we take ownership of it. This is the year for ASUCM to either take charge of this event or transfer it to somewhere else. I don't want that to happen. I am forming a committee to work on it, and 3 court justices have already volunteered to sit on it. Please let me know if any of you are interested in working on it as well. Regardless of if you are on the committee or not, I expect every single member of ASUCM to be at this event, helping lead groups of students, which Steve has taken to calling pods, cool little name, through the conference and facilitating discussion with them. We are student leaders with a great deal of experience. Let's show and teach these high schoolers what we know. Please show up to this conference. ASUCM as a whole must take responsibility for this event for it to be successful here. I'm going to be meeting with Brian on Friday and then right after that Charles to go over our leadership development initiatives. And I'll be sending out a doodle or a when is good this weekend to plan to check for availability to see when we can get together as a whole to work on our visions, our plans, to work on our knowledge of the bylaws and Robert's rules and other issues that may be affecting us. So hopefully it's going to be, the first one I'll be a bit of a social with some leadership development stuff from Brian, and then after that, after the elections, we'll be, I think, having a dinner at Charles's house along with some more leadership development stuff with him. So with that being said, I'd ask that all of you senators please start utilizing Martine and Jefferson for more resolutions. Their jobs are to advocate for students, and you can assist them in doing that by helping draft legislation in line with what your constituents elected you to advocate for. Having legislation backing their initiatives gives them more credibility when advocating for students here or in the municipal government level or the federal government, wherever they may be going. One of my last points has to do with Senate's relationship with the other branches of with our other branches as well as our advisor. Steve often mentioned the concept of conflict with civility. In this organization, conflict is inevitable. And especially as the year goes on, all of you will be establishing your own voice and personality at the table. This may end up running against the opinions of other members within the organization. You may say no and respectfully disagree with others at this table, off this table, wherever, so long as you are in line with the bylaws and Constitution as well as UCRP policies. When it comes to disagreements with your advisor or other members of ASUCM in regards to legislation, know that creating the legislative agenda is solely under the purview of the Senate. It is the job of the executives to carry out the agenda you all set for us. Drafting and editing legislation is also the job of Senate, and once a bill or resolution is on the table, it belongs to all of you to change as you wish, pass, not pass, it's up to you. If you ever receive a fully drafted piece of legislation or something that you didn't personally work on, be somewhat wary of it. Work on it yourself, give it your own touch, edit it to make sure it fits you. And if you aren't comfortable presenting a motion, a bill, a resolution, a Senate action, you don't have to do it, nor do you even have to second motions you don't agree with. In the end, it comes down to separation of powers. We have it for a reason. It protects our government and the students we represent. Never let it be infringed on. You are the Senate, you are the voice of the students. We the executives, implement your legislative agenda, and the court ensures we do it as a whole, we as a whole do our job in a fair, transparent, and respectful manner. So that's all I have for you this week. We can move on now to the elected and appointed officers report. You have 5 minutes each. It's 5, right, Steve? Yeah. All right, so are there any elected or appointed officers out there that would like to speak? No, I thought Jefferson had something he wanted to.
Jefferson.
All right, that's right. Position and name.
Hi, my name is Desiree McLean. I'm Director of Academic Affairs. Today I officially sat on the UGC committee. I can't really report anything yet that's happened in that committee because I have to kind of like get permission from them to what I can say and share with everyone else. But I'm in the midst of doing that, and we meet every other week. So hopefully soon, possibly next week, I'll have a report for all of you on what's happening in that committee. And then that's all I have to report.
Are there any other elected or appointed officers that would like to speak? All right, if there isn't anybody else, we can move on to our officer reports. Senator Pro Tempore, Senator Jones.
Hey everybody, guess what day it is? Hump day! Okay, happy Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. I hope everyone is having a great week. If not, turn that frown upside down. The only thing I wanted to report on, or that I wanted to say, is when you all are writing legislation, make sure you inform your club that OSL needs at least 3 to 4 weeks to process things, because we don't want to put a strain on OSL, and I know that was an issue we had last year, rushing things. So just make sure when you're talking with clubs and writing legislation for them. Make sure you let them know that OSL needs at least 3 to 4 weeks to process things.
Sergeant at Arms, Senator Gray.
I guess you said it already, but don't forget to sign in if you haven't signed in, please, and I have nothing else to report.
Secretary, Senator Pelayo.
Nothing to report.
ICC Liaison, Senator Kwan.
All right, so the first ICC meeting of the year was last Friday. I would say it was a rocky but successful start. We had a record number of RCOs turn out for our very first meeting. One thing that I did notice during it is we reduced the early budgeting fund from $6,000 to $1,000 last year. However, all of that money was used up. So next time that comes around and for us to like add more money, we might want to consider doing that, as all the money was used and that there were RCOs that were trying to get some money, and especially if we're going to be trusting ICC with a lot of the budgeting, especially earlier on when they want to do events for Welcome Week, it might be in our best interest in order to add a little more funding for them so that they can program the first few weeks of school. Additionally, next week I plan to raise a Senate action in order to increase ICC funding by $22,200, and I'll be sending out information to all the chairs of the committees, as well as posting my reasoning behind the action on our Facebook page as well.
Court Liaison, Senator Munoz.
So court had their official meeting yesterday with Justice Bolaños and Justice Seiler being absent. So they also welcomed their new court justice, Justice Negrete. As far as their updates and what they're working on their bylaw project. They're hoping to have their first draft by next week. They're also in contact with Laura Spielman, the head commissioner for elections commissioner, and working on that. Yeah, so they're also looking into, obviously, you mentioned they're getting involved with UC leaders, and they're looking into possibly getting an ICC liaison to attend the court meetings. And last thing is they're looking into ways how they can reach out to students, so just so that court becomes more accessible and just more it's more known by the students. But yes, that was it.
Moving on to committee reports, Budget and Finance, Senator Jones.
Okay, so today Budget and Finance met at 6 p.m. in KL 276. We discussed all the legislation that was sent to us. Myself, along with Senator Munoz and Senator Carlson, were present, and the Treasurer, David Asensio. But Budget and Finance, we've decided to move our meetings to Thursdays, 9:15 to 10:15, and that'll be in the Acorn Room. And we switched our meetings because as the year moves, as we progress during the year, we'll get an influx of bills, and 6 to 7 is not enough time considering that it's right before Senate meetings, and we want enough time to adequately discuss legislation, and we couldn't reserve the Acorn Room past 5 p.m. So starting tomorrow, there'll be Thursdays, 9:15 to 10, 9:15 to 10:15 a.m. In the Acorn Room.
Academic Affairs, Senator Fitzgerald.
We met today in KL 368 at 6 p.m. and we're going to try to maintain that room throughout the rest of the semester. All 3 members were present, including myself, Senator Pelayo, and Desiree McLean. And we discussed all the legislation that was sent to us, and also met with the EVP Jefferson to discuss the ASUCM bill. And our plans for academic affairs, Desiree mentioned that she wants to start working on giving out the scholarships, or getting the word out about that, and starting study sessions for ASUCM to raise our cumulative GPA.
Student activities, Senator Gray.
Everyone was present. We met at 4:15 in the Acorn Room. We discussed all the bills. Donald, the director, wasn't there. Some of our plans for this year is to kind of work closer with CAM, so it'd be great if we showed up more. That's it.
Student advocacy, Senator Lomio.
Yes, everybody was present at our committee meeting. It was held at 2 o'clock on Thursday in the Acorn Room. We will be moving that time because it does not work for some of our senators. We did unanimously approve both the SOCNUS bill and the UCSA bill.
Moving on to advisors report, Steve.
How's it going?
Steve.
Steve.
7 for the expansion?
It's what's next week? 17, 16, 17, 18? It's next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Any other questions?
President's report, President Flores.
Not 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Towards the end. I'm Dalton. Towards the end. Sorry, this is really loud. Good evening, ASUCM senators, students, and guests. Happy Wednesday, everyone. I was going to say the hump day joke, but Dominique beat me to it. My report tonight will be brief, but I do want to touch on a few important updates. We have solidified a date for our executive retreat. It will take place next Sunday, September 21st, and we'll be on campus. I have also decided to hold joint meetings of ASUCM leadership that will include the heads of each ASUCM branch and auxiliary, and we'll meet every 3 weeks starting tomorrow. We have our first meeting scheduled for tomorrow in KO 474 from 11 to 12 p.m. It is open to the public. In these meetings, we will discuss the progress of each branch and see how we can support each other in carrying out our respective roles. We had our first executive board meeting last Friday and it went really well. We had great discussion about SOCC, supplies for the new ASUCM office, and other projects. Starting this Friday, you can find the minutes from the executive meetings online. The agendas will be posted online by midday every Thursday. These meetings are open to the public to attend and to participate during public forum. The rooms will change, so I'll update you all on the rooms. We still have a lot of ASUCM discount cards, so please hand them out and tell students about them. They're only good for a year. I've gotten great feedback from students and it seems like they're really enjoying them, so that's great. And they actually work, so that's awesome. I'm still looking for ASUCM senators to sit on university committees as well as the Student Union and Building Advisory Board. I will give you all another week or two to sign up for a university committee, and after that I will be seeking students from outside of ASUCM to sit on the committees. They will still be required to report to Senate once a month. And so that's the written report. And I'm also going to talk off script for a little bit about something that I had a conversation with Steve earlier today. And this is more of a personal thing, but you know, as ASUCM president, I'm still getting used to this position and you know what it entails and you know what are my duties in this position. I'm having difficulty understand where I stand in this whole, you know, the whole picture of ASUCM. Zach touched on it a little bit earlier with conflict with civility, and you know that I wholeheartely agree with Zach. You know, when I ran for ASUCM president, one of the things I ran on was that I was going to separate myself as far away from the legislative branch as possible. I did say that in my first speech too. So, you know, one of the things that you know I talked to Steve about was, what is my role when it comes to decision making? And you know, he told me about an author named Jim Collins who talks about level 5 leaders. And level 5 leaders are people who, when the organization is doing great, they look out the window and they credit everybody in the organization. So when this organization is doing amazing, you know, it's the work of you all that makes it so amazing. But when things go bad, the leader looks in the mirror. And you know, that really resonates with me because you know, when y'all make decisions, I'm here to take the brunt of any outcome of that decision. You know, that's why y'all elected me into this office, to take any outcome of any decision you made, whether it's good or bad. You know, that's what I'm here for. It makes the position a little more difficult, but that's why y'all elected me, to take the brunt of any decision that's made, and that's what I'm here for. You know, that's why that really resonated with me, because when a bad decision is made, nothing gets solved when I blame it on other people. You know, nothing happens from that. So it allows me to do a lot of self-reflection on who I am and what I do in this position. So while we all may have our own respective branches, you know, let's have the dialogue of exactly what's going on in every branch. And what are the visions of the executives, and what are the visions of all of y'all individually? What do you want to accomplish, and how can I, in my position, empower you to do that? because other than just taking the outcome of decisions, I'm here to empower you in the work that you want to do on this campus. So just take that into account when, throughout the year. Any outcome you make, this is still ASUCM, this is still our organization, and I'll be here to take any criticism or any opinion of any student, because that's why I'm ASUCM president. But that's my speech, and thank you all, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask, but if not, then that's it. No?
Moving on to the treasurer's report, David.
Good evening, everyone. So I quickly want to show you all the budget. So, okay, right here. That's fine. So this is the current Senate bill. So it's the Senate bills that we are using this year as Senate. So it's usually referred to as general fund, but it should be referred to as Senate bills. And this is the current amount, 53,000. So, and then also the carry forward available. Great, I didn't think you put it. So it's 165. So technically carry forward and Senate bills are one and the same. So it should be whatever 165 is plus the 53, and that's the number that's in Senate bills right now. Because nothing else is going to be allocated, and it's going to become Senate bills. So Connie, our OSL staff, said that it will change a little bit, plus or minus at most 1,000. So it should, because there's still like some expenses that are left over from the summer that she's still trying to put into the books. And so it should change either plus or minus 1,000. She's not too sure yet. So it should be 165 for sure. And then also I want to talk about, I uploaded, I called it my condensed version of the bylaws to the email archive for everyone to see. So if y'all could read it, send it, because I know I wasn't able to go into depth too much last week. But if you all want me to, I can go into depth with it. Like maybe, I don't know if y'all have wanted me to send you out like a when is good, and we can all talk about it a little bit further, because I know there was some like people that were interested in it. So if you all want to, I can. Just let me know if that's all right. I think I'll set one up hopefully after the executive retreat, so I can have a better idea of what my personal goals are. I do have some personal goals that I want to talk about today also. Was sort of like, I'll get to that last. And so I want to talk about right now SFAC. SFAC met today for the first time. It was a good meeting. We talked about a lot of things, and one of the things that came up was, I think it was how UCFP President Napolitano wanted to add, I think it was a $140 dollar, I guess it was sort of like to the student fee. And so it was to all UCs, because it was like supposed to be an average of what's the most that one UC would need, and then the least that one UC would need for mental health services, because there's tier 1, 2, and 3. And so tier 1 is supposed to be like direct advising, so like therapists, and then direct, I think third is like health and wellness. So it's supposed to be like overall health and wellness of the student body. And so those haven't been really funded well across the board, and so it's supposed to help that. And that's sort of been controversial, I guess, and I guess SFAC is kind of dealing with that along with CSF. So SFAC has one at every campus, so CSF is the overall body of all the SFACs, 10 campuses, so they're sort of dealing with that, and I think also UCSA to an extent. And that's just pretty much sort of like what we talked about throughout the meeting. Going to my own personal goals, and so I think one personal goal that came in this year is sort of like two main ones, and the rest are like were very specific off these two. One was sort of like making sure that the student fee is not the only revenue for the AS in the future. I want to make sure that in the future the AS has other revenues besides the AS, and so that we can provide for the students services. Although this is sort of something that has been sort of said before. I said that when I was treasurer last, and I think my last 2 or 3 predecessors have said this also. It's a tough task. But I really want this to at least, I want to start this year at least have a sort of groundbreaking, where at least I can start with something, so that for next year, I know I'm not going to be here, but for somebody to at least run with it. And I think it's going to take a couple of years for at least start getting revenue for the AS, but I really want to start it now, because I know we always are talking about it, but it never actually happens. Secondly, what my position as a ASUCM treasurer will be in the future. I always see myself not as like me in this position, but as a position. and I always want to see what this position can be in the future. I think that with the AS growing and with our campus growing and with like the 2020 project, I think that the AS is changing, and I think our role should change as well with the AS. I think it's sort of very natural, and so I really want to see what my position should be. Like, I know we're achieving, or we're going to be getting a lot more assets, and we're going to be receiving a lot more sort of like funding and a lot more, we're going to be much more diverse as an AS. I really want to see what the AS, the role of me, our future ASUCM treasurer should be, and what it should look like. And I think that's sort of something that I talked to Budget and Finance today. Was about my 5-year plan that I really want to, like, me and my team are sort of like getting together, is to create a 5-year plan for up to 2020, so 5 years from now would be the 2020. To see what the AS will look like budget-wise and financial-wise, so that we can have a little bit more stability as an AS, and it will create a little bit more transparency for both myself, or my position of ASUCM treasurer and the position of the AS Senate, so that we can see what students have a sort of a tool, because I feel like they have no really background as to what the AS budget should look like. And I think that having sort of like a projected what it should look like, and sort of like plus or minus a little bit, or a little bit of change, would be good for the students, that they know, hey, this is what it should look like, or it's not really looking like this, that's kind of fishy, what are y'all doing? So it keeps us accountable, and it keeps sort of like the students in the know. So I think that's sort of something that me and my team, my staff, are trying to do, so that we can have it by the end of September, hopefully, so that it can be at least before the last meeting of September. Just so you all know, I talked to Budget and Finance, and they felt like they were pretty on board with me. So I'll have first meeting with Budget and Finance about this, and then hopefully one of them can bring it to you all as a resolution. So yeah, hopefully you all can read my condensed version of the financial bylaws, and if you have any questions, just email me about if you want to meet personally, and I can talk about it in depth, or if you want me to have like a Senate sort of like financial bylaw review, or I don't know what you want to call it, let me know. And that's it. If there are any questions about the budget, and I will be around tonight, because I know tonight will be a big allocating night, so I will be around answering questions. If you have any, I'll be in this corner. But yeah, if you have any questions right now or later, just let me know. Thanks.
Public forum. Please state your name and the organization you represent when you get up to speak. You have 5 minutes that you may ask questions, but the senators may not reply. So, is there anybody that would like to speak? Matt.
Hi everyone, my name is Matt Wainwright. I'm actually a former ASUCM senator. I recognize some familiar faces, and to the new faces I say, welcome to the ASUCM family. I'm actually here in the official capacity of Congressman Jim Costa. I'm a district representative here in his Merced office, and we're looking for interns. I actually started as a sophomore interning at the same office that I now work at full time. I gotta tell you, it's a fantastic opportunity. You learn about how government actually works, which I think both the skills that you get here and the skills that you could attain there are very mutually applicable. If anyone has any questions, I'm going to leave my card over there by Mondo's Chief of Staff, and hopefully when you guys walk out, you can write down an email. If any of you are interested in interning at our office, you can learn how government gets made. Just shoot me an email with your resume. If you have any questions, you can include that in the email. Yeah, good to see all of you.
Would anybody else like to speak?
Hi, my name is Salma Chavez, and I'm representing UNICEF organization, and we are actually asking for funds for our traveling conference in Miami, Florida. It will be taking place it will be October 9th to the 12th.
What the conference basically is about is a lot of leaders from different organizations that help people around the world will be there, and they'll be speaking, basically telling us how we can run our organization in a more efficient way, and how we can help people more. So what it does is it tells us about different problems that are going on around the world, and how we can spread awareness. And what we hope to get from the conference is communication skills, networking. About 1,000 students from over 50 countries will be attending, And they're all from organizations like UNICEF. They help children who don't have clothes or clean water or food, basic things that they need. And we'll be able to get ideas to use here. And
we'll also be bringing back, the leadership skills and more knowledge to the rest of our members, and for members who are going to be future presidents or treasurers, and just the basic knowledge of what UNICEF does. And because it is a worldwide organization, we want to get the different perspectives, from all around the world, because there are different organizations from UCs, and we just want to represent, UC Merced does have an organization, and we are, active, and we want to represent it as well.
Would anybody else like to speak? Okay. Yeah, you can.
Hello, everyone. So the external office invited me to teach you all how to help register someone else to vote, which I think is great. And I guess it's cool if I connect it to the projector.
Name organization as well.
Oh, my bad. So my name is Julian Martinez. I'm a staff member for the UC Student Association. My official title is the Undergraduate Organizing Director, and my job responsibilities are to help, help everyone with their organizing skills in order to execute the UCSA campaigns. And one of the projects that we're currently working on is UC We Vote, which is a fancy name for just, registering all our students to vote. And so I'll go over this quickly because of limited time. So the main objective of this presentation is to teach you all how to help register someone else to vote, and basically tackle every possible question someone else can throw at you, so that way you can also train others how to effectively do this. So here's a California voter registration card, and just follow along with your own voter registration cards. So I'm just going to throw out a little legend. The highlighted sections here are, when I put this up, are the sections that you must fill out on the voter registration card, right? These are the required sections. If you don't fill this out, you'll have an ineligible voter registration card. I'm going to put red brackets on areas that, what I like to call problem areas in a sense, which is basically, these are the most, they make the most errors in these areas. And I'll go in detail with this. So this is the top of your voter registration card, and believe it or not, the very first section that people run into as far as filling out the voter registration card is filling out your first name. I also made this very mistake, and I guess it's because you see last name right below box 1, and people just make the mental connection and put their last name here. Oh, and also another thing to note, when you're having someone, once you ask someone, oh, are you registered to vote at your current address, and they agree to it, just let them know, hey, is it all right if I help guide you through the voter registration card to make sure that you don't fill something out and don't get ineligible. Fill out an ineligible voter registration card. Yeah, when I first started volunteering to help people register to vote, I just kind of stood there looking over the shoulder kind of awkwardly, and people kind of found that weird. So make sure you kind of explain the reason why you definitely want to stand next to them and help guide them throughout the whole process. So yeah, first name. Another commonly missed section is California County. For whatever reason, I believe it's because it's not boxed out like the other areas. People generally just miss that box completely. So when you're helping register people to vote, be sure, be on the lookout and make sure that they fill out that box. This section, which is referred to here as the cool section, that's box 6. What's pretty neat about this area is that you don't need to you don't actually have to have a home residence, right? This is to give, to make sure they don't disenfranchise people that are homeless. They can actually put cross sections or different intersections, basically describe best where they live, and that way people can still vote even though they don't technically have a residence. And so going a little back to boxes 4 and 5, people might say, what qualifies you as a resident of California, right? But what I mean by that is, some people ask, oh, do I need to be registered at a DMV at this address in order for this to fill out this section or whatever? But no, they basically take it by honor code. So go ahead and just wherever that person believes is their home address, they can go ahead and fill it, and that will work. So in box 7 and 8, this is the mailing address, right? So if for whatever reason you want to receive your mail at a different location than your actual residence, they will fill that out. Other required boxes in 9 and 10, date of birth, right? And then, so again, the next problem, commonly missed section, is U.S. state or foreign country of birth. Generally what happens is that people will put United States of America. I guess they see country and they just connect USA right away. But that's another commonly missed section. Make sure you remember that one. Section 11, again, to verify if you're eligible, if you're a U.S. citizen, right? California driver's license or ID, or if for whatever reason they don't have an ID card on them, the last 4 digits of the Social Security number will also count. And so box 12 and 13, so there's pros and cons to filling this section out, and it's really important to be very honest with the people that you're helping fill out a voter registration card, right? So it's just to put in your email or telephone number. So the pros to filling these sections out is if for whatever reason the person helping that other person fill out the voter registration card, or the person filling out the voter registration card themselves misses something on the card, the county elections office or the registrar's office will go ahead and call that person back and make the correction right there. But what also happens is that the county elections office can actually sell this information to people that are running for office, so they can then use it to canvass you, call you, and try to get them to vote for them in that election. So I feel like it's very important to be very honest with that, and yeah, generally, if they do or don't, definitely leave it up to their choice. So box 14. Do you want to disclose a political party preference, right? And the reason that's important to fill out is if you want to vote in a primary election, lots of political parties require you to check. Let's say I'm a Republican, I want to vote in the Republican Party primary, you need to check that box. And then if you don't want to disclose your party preference, you need to mark this box over here, right? No. So the next problem section is actually right here at the American Independent Party. People sometimes think they want to not disclose their political party preference, or they identify as an independent voter, and they check that. Well, that's an actual political party. So if you see someone check that off, just politely say, are you an independent voter? And if they say yes, are you independent from a political party? If they say yes, just redirect them towards the no. This one, box 15 and 16 are not required, but if you put your initials next to box item 15, that's if you want to receive your vote by mail for the election, or your ballot by mail. And this is good, like let's say for whatever reason you're really amped and you're going to be doing a lot of GOTV work, right? Get out the vote, informing your voters of what exactly they're working on, and you're not going to be able to make it to the ballot yourself that day. It's good to do a vote by mail. You also have the option of doing early voting. Just go to your county elections office a little bit before the election, and you can do your ballot early. So box 16, if you're registered to vote before, you fill this out, the place you were previously registered to vote at, and that's just so the county elections office can delete your previous registration and just basically help them update their systems. So we're almost done. Section 17, also other eligibility requirements, right? Are you a U.S. citizen? Easy yes or no. The next section is, will you be 18 or older by the next election? The key part to that is, will you be 18 by next election? So what that means is, let's say hypothetically I'm 17 right now and my birthday is on November 4th. I can register right now being 17 years old and still vote at the election. You can register ahead of time like that. Another comment about box 17, sometimes I've encountered people that have asked me, oh, if I register someone that's undocumented, can I do that, or will they catch me? And that's a bad idea for many different reasons. One of the reasons is, aside from it being illegal, let's say that person is trying to pursue citizenship. If they're caught doing this, they basically have no chance for a visa or their citizenship for a very, very long time. So definitely, I wouldn't do that. And if they're really adamant about participating in the political process, I really encourage you to encourage them to help register people in their community that can vote. So box 18, almost done. The vote signature, so go ahead and just sign it right there when they're completely done. The next most commonly missed section, believe it or not, is dating your signature. I guess it's because this box doesn't have any bar in the middle of it, so think that they just sign it and they're completely done. Another mistake that also happens is when people date it, they put their birthday, so just pay attention that they're putting 2014 on there instead of, well, for me it's 89. For you all it might be, I don't know, 92 or something? 92. All right. Getting close?
Pretty much there.
What's that?
Pretty much there.
Or we're done?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can I be a little bit lenient on them? Can they extend the time for this?
Did you know? But somebody else can use
Someone else can.
Oh. Jefferson.
I'd like to yield my time for public comments.
Can you do that? Yeah.
If not,
All right.
All right, thank you. And I apologize for going over time. I'll quicken this up a little bit. I want to be respectful to y'all's time. So, in this section, if you help someone fill out the voter registration form, you got to fill out this green box, which is to the bottom right of your voter registration card. You sign it, put your name, address, telephone number, and organization on the top and bottom, right? And this is basically an accountability mechanism. Like hypothetically, if for whatever reason you're helping someone sign it up and you're just making common mistakes, there's a lot of ineligible voter registration cards. The county can then contact you and help you let you know what exactly you're doing wrong, so you're not leading to more ineligible voter registration cards. And the bottom is just for the person you registered. So we're at the very end, you just tear out the bottom, hand them the voter registration card, and you're completely done. And then again, thanks a lot for having me up here. Sorry that I went a little over time, and yeah, I'll talk to you all later.
Would anybody else like to speak during public forum? Arya.
Hi everyone, Arya, not voter reg anymore, but campus organizing director for ASUCM XO and ASUCM Court. So just back with you since last Senate meeting, just kind of talk with you all about what happened last week. And as Mondo and Ivan and Steve has said, trying to work with all of you together, all of you, I sent you an email on Friday, pretty lengthy, I must admit, and also kind of rash about what I said. Just so that you know that my frustration was based on trying to get all ASUCM branches working together. It is something that throughout the 3 years that I've been part of ASUCM and that I've been part of the school, I haven't seen. So I hope you can understand a little bit of my humanity of trying to get all of you to work together to achieve my goal, as Julian just came, who is actually somebody I've worked with a lot for voter registration, and our new voter registration coordinator, Sonia Lau, over there, who you're going to be working with a lot. I know this is a lot of information to take in for voter reg, but as I told you before, the political carnival is going to be a great event. A great event for all of you to get involved within the school and to get your ideas and your goals out there for the students. So again, political carnival, September 23rd to the 24th. I sent a lot of emails. Sonia's going to send you a lot of emails about it. So if you are still interested in being a part of it, please let me know. Things are being reserved. You can start planning some activities for your tables. And if you want to volunteer for registering students to vote, you're more than welcome to come to me, come to Sonia. And thank you very much.
Would anybody else like to speak? Sorry, I'm kind of short. I can't see some people. All right, if that's it, we'll be moving on to old business. Bill number 2, funding for SACNAS at UC Merced, introduced by Senator Lomio. Do I have a motion?
Yes, I motion to bring it to the table.
You mean to approve?
To approve, yes.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Seconded by Senator Munoz. Introduction. You have 5 minutes. Sorry, committee reports. Senator Jones, Budget and Finance.
Okay, so in Budget and Finance, we talked about this bill. The only issue that we had was that they were requesting $300 for food, but that violates Section 5.2.2 of our financial bylaws that states that we do not fund food for travel. Other than that, we were okay with it, but since we were voting on the bill as is, it did not pass in committee.
Academic Affairs, Senator Fitzgerald.
We discussed the bill and said there's nothing wrong with it besides the fact that there is no fundraising going on at this moment for it. And also, Daisy pointed out that there is a typo at the end of the bill where it says the president, it still says Ivan Flores is IVP and Jared Brandon is president.
That'll be fixed after. Student activities, Senator Garay.
We like this bill. We only wanted to see at least like $500 cut from this bill.
Okay. Student advocacy, Senator Lomio.
It did pass.
Okay. Introduction, you have 5 minutes.
Yes, so I just want to respond to everything. So actually, they have begun fundraising, and through the dean, they were able to raise a significant amount of money. And so I do move to amend my bill. I would
just amend your own bill. You don't have to make a motion to do it.
Okay, well then I amend my bill, and I have changed it. I've sent the changes already to Bria, if she could bring them up, please. They are in red. So the cost has significantly fallen. It is now only $2,404. Food is completely gone from the budget. Registration is only $315, and then the total per person, which because they're only bringing 5, is $1,575. Total for lodging is $551, which is unchanged, and then transportation is $278. So we have amended the bill, we have changed it. So the total we are requesting is only $2,404. The dean has beautifully helped us. I would like to yield my time to Anna Artiega, the president of SOCNUS, and she's going to explain their goals and what they want to get out of this.
Hello everyone. My name is Anna Artiega, and I am the president of SOCNUS here at UC Merced. SOCNUS stands for the Society of Advancement of Chicanos, Native Americans, and Latinos in the Sciences. I am proud to say we were officially recognized by the national organization as the 100th chapter. So our goals as a national organization and ours is to promote higher education in minority students. We would like to not only promote higher education, but to make the future scientists and leaders of tomorrow. Our goals for the conference is to allow our students to network. Networking is huge within the science, especially if you want to go into obtaining a PhD, and if you'd like to even pursue a postdoc and become a faculty staff. A lot of the members that have previously attended this conference have been offered job opportunities. They have also been offered PhD and graduate school offers, as well as summer research for the younger members that will be attending. Throughout this conference, there will also be leadership workshops, and like I said, networking is crucial within our organization to promote higher education.
Thank you.
We'll now be moving to discussion. You have 20 minutes, or you may motion to vote earlier if you wish. Starting now. Any discussion? Senator Jones.
Overall, I'm very pleased with the bill, considering that it's only 2,000 sending 10 students, correct? Sending 10.
I believe it's actually sending more now that the dean has helped fundraise.
Okay, well, sending more than 10 students for only $2,000, I feel like that's actually a good price. And then we just want to make sure that we're actually, investing in our students, because a lot of learning that does happen outside of the classroom, and that's important. And they did take out food, so I'm okay with it, so we're not violating bylaws or anything.
Any further discussion? All right. If not, we'll be moving to a vote on this bill. Anyone else want to miss out? Senator Lomio?
I motion to vote.
You don't have to say anything. We'll just move on.
I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Not to All right. So, no further discussion or motions? Okay. We'll be moving to a vote. All those in favor, raise your hands. Unanimously approved. We'll be moving on to bill number 3, the UCSA's 26th Annual Students of Color Conference at UC Merced, introduced by Senator Munoz.
Don't you do committee reports first?
You have to motion to
approve. Oh, I motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Senator Lomio. Committee reports, budget and finance.
Okay, so we discussed this bill. We thought overall it's a good bill. It will be the first time that UC Merced is hosting a UC-wide conference, which is a big deal. And it's also very beneficial to the local businesses, considering that over 800 students across different UCs will be here for a period of 3 days.
Academic Affairs, Senator Fitzgerald.
We discussed this bill with Jefferson, and we did have a few concerns about like space and cost, but we just like after discussing it with him, we passed the bill.
Student Activity, Senator Garay.
We voted yes on this. We thought it was a great bill, a great benefit for the students on campus. Definitely something to consider. There was some questions, but Jefferson answered them, so I think we'll go.
Student Advocacy, Senator Lomio.
We had serious questions about the amount of money and how that will be able to affect advocacy for the students, and if it's kind of like worth the price. We had a lot of questions, and we felt like that the price is worth the payoff.
Okay. Introduction, Senator Munoz, you have 5 minutes.
Okay, so looks like most of y'all have looked over this bill. So like Senator Jones mentioned, this will be the first time that this conference is going to be hosted at UC Merced, which the external office especially the external vice president, worked a lot on this, getting this bid for us. And you know, we were lucky enough to be given this opportunity to host this conference, and we actually had some of our delegation there to just kind of show support. As far as, you know, the conference goes, we are expected to have about 800 to 900 students from all over the UC, including members from the association, from UCSA, and non-members. You know, this is a great conference. If you haven't had the opportunity to attend, it's a really good conference for students of color to come together and, you know, really address the issues that, you know, we are facing, and it's also a safe space for allies as well. Other than that, this conference in particular, the external office is focusing on trying to booster the Merced community. So everything that we're, you know, buying or purchasing or businesses that we're working with are all local businesses. We're trying to avoid the whole corporate thing. So we're definitely, you know, trying to boost the economy, and, you know, there's going to be up to 900 students here in, you know, in a period of 3 days, and they're all going to be going out to the community, you know, helping the Merced community. This conference is also going to be a great way for our clubs and organizations to network and, you know, learn from other students and other organizations on campus, specifically our cultural clubs on campus. As far as their participation, a lot of them are really enthusiastic about volunteering and presenting and performing. So overall, it's a great conference. I've been to it myself. Some of y'all have been to it. So I'm really looking forward to this conference. It's going to be a big year for UC Merced with this conference. And yes, that's all I have to say.
All right, we'll be moving to discussion, starting now. Are there any comments? Senator Garay.
I've been to ASUCM. It's a great experience. Personally, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I felt it was a way to segregate students in a sense. But I look at the benefit that it has for the students here on campus as being one of the minority-serving universities. I feel that's something the students can really benefit from, and I could take my personal opinion on that. But that's how I feel about this being on our campus.
Senator Jones.
I respect you for saying that, but SOCC, the idea is not to segregate students. I feel like an issue that we have not in society, just in general, is that we don't like to talk about different things that affect different communities on campus. And this is what SOCC is about. It's about creating those inclusive spaces so that students from all different backgrounds can come together and speak about the issues that we don't normally speak about. And then speaking there, you know, to other students as well, seeing what we face and how we can connect as sister campuses and work to like combat those issues that we face. That's why I feel like it's so essential. And even Chancellor Leland has said we need, you know, intercultural education on this campus. So I feel like that's a big part of what SOCC is. And I'm sorry you didn't have that same experience that others have had, but hopefully bringing that here, other students will have the opportunity to have a positive experience there.
Senator Munoz.
Yeah, and another thing, I think one important thing to point out is just providing that opportunity to have that safe space. You know, some of us might not experience it right away. It did take me a while to really experience what a safe space is. And I think just providing students that opportunity to have that safe space, you know, potentially, who knows, you might experience that safe space here at, you know, this year's conference, but I think that's really something to keep in mind. Yeah.
Is there any further discussion? Senator Gray.
I completely agree with both of you guys. I saw a lot of that at the last one, so definitely agree.
Any further discussion? Okay, we can move to a vote. All those in favor of approving Bill number 3, UCSA's 26th Annual Students of Color Conference at UC Merced, raise your hand. Unanimously approved. We'll be moving to new business, the presidential nomination of Desiree McLean for the ASUCM representative to the Academic Integrity Task Force. Oh, Senator Jones.
Motion to table the presidential nomination for 1 week.
There's a motion to table for 1 week. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Carlson. Okay. Right. All right, so it's been tabled. You can just say table. Table implies 1 week. All right. Bill number 4, funding for the 2nd Annual Opportunity in Action Summit, introduced by Senator Jones. Senator Jones.
Motion to send bill number 4 to all committees.
There's a motion to send bill number 4 to all committees. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Carlson. Is anybody opposed to sending bill number 4 to all committees? Bill number 4 has been sent to all committees. Bill number 5, UNICEF Campus Initiative, introduced by Senator Gray.
All right, guys, this is the bill I was talking about, so I motion to await. Do I
You sent it to the bill first.
Good, yes. I'd like to send this bill to committee as a whole.
There's a motion to send bill number 5 to committee of the whole. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Rumayor. Is there a vote on sending it to committee of the whole, or does it just go, Steve?
I think it just goes.
Once it's been seconded, the bill to go to committee of the whole? Is there a vote? You vote on sending the bill to committee of the whole then? Right, but you have to vote on sending the bill. Okay. All right. All those in favor of sending bill number 5 to committee of the whole, raise your hand. Senator Gray, Senator Kornstrom, Senator Zisser, Senator Fitzgerald, Senator Rumayor, Senator Lomio, Senator Munoz, Senator Kwan, Senator Pelayo, Senator Jones. All those opposed? All those abstaining? All right, 1 abstention. The bill has been sent to committee of the whole. Can you guys keep your hands up and higher, longer? Okay. Senator Gray?
I'd like to go to Senate of the whole. Motion to go to committee.
There's the motion to go to committee of the whole. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Kornstrom. All is in favor of moving to committee of the whole? Senator Gray, Senator Kornstrom, Senator Zisser, Senator Fitzgerald, Senator Rumayor, Senator Lomio, Senator Munoz, Senator Kwan, Senator Figueroa, Senator Jones. All those opposed? All those abstaining? 1 abstention. Senator Carlson. Do I list the name of the person that abstained still? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, he did. Back way a little bit farther. It's hard to tell sometimes. Yeah, but you're good. All right, we've entered committee of the whole. Rhea, do you have the bill?
I do.
Okay. Hold on 1 sec. Oh, I know. It's on the Facebook, but she hasn't been added to the Facebook page yet. Can someone forward the bill to Rhea? Or I guess I can just load it.
You can find it in the group page, actually.
Oh, she's not on the group page yet.
She is.
Oh, she is? Oh, I thought she was. Oh, okay, never mind. It's in there. It should be a little bit lower.
It's right there.
Down, it's a little bit lower. Right there.
Right there.
You can just hit preview. It'll go faster. Okay. All right, well, it's just discussion right now. All right, so is it 20 minutes to discuss still in committee of the whole? Steve? Yeah. It's still 20 minutes to discuss? Okay. Discussion. Senator Gray.
All right, so I want to start off by apologizing. I know this is a hassle and this is not going to happen again. It was just one of those misunderstandings the second time. I could have put it into new business and sent it to our committees, but hopefully all you guys read it. I mentioned it a couple times on Facebook. And you guys got a chance to look at it. You had the UNICEF here today talking to you guys about a little bit of the background and what they want to do with this trip. So I hope you guys heard some of that, and want to answer any questions if you have any.
Senator Jones.
My only concern was, I know you were saying last last week that they went to ICC for funding, so can you clarify what happened with that?
Senator Ray?
Yeah, most definitely. Actually, they didn't go to ICC. ICC didn't meet till this past Friday, so they aren't double dipping. They're not getting money from elsewhere. I did clear some stuff up with them. All they're requesting is just traveling money, I think it was. It's just transportation, which is airplane and transportation and a taxi. They're paying for their own registration. I know you guys saw a lot of numbers last week or the last updated version, but just ignore those. Those are just stuff that they had to fill out when they filled out the online form. So there was nothing to do with ICC anymore. It's just strictly ASUCM, which ICC doesn't fund travel, so they have to come to us.
Is there any more discussion? Senator Fitzgerald.
Isn't this very similar to the same bill that was put on the table last year with Senate, and that did not pass because they did not feel comfortable paying almost $600 for 5 people each?
Senator Gray?
Yes, I was sitting on the table last year, and that's exactly the case. But I feel strongly about this bill because in order to get these types of organizations off the ground, you need to train people to be better at it, be better leaders for their members. And it's important that these guys go to this event. Last year it was shut down, and it'd be sad that they didn't have trained leaders for this year.
Senator Fitzgerald?
So there's no way they could get the same training here, or not in Merced, but somewhere closer to where we're not spending almost $500 per person?
Senator Lomio?
I just want to say I think this is a great opportunity, and I'm really excited for them to go on this trip, and I think it's once in a college experience kind of a trip.
Senator Carlson?
I know last week this bill was in existence and it was debated whether or not we could committee of the whole. We decided against it because it was rather improper, and I understand we had about 9 hours ahead of time, but if this bill's been around for over a week, why is it that, as of today, 9 hours ago, I found out about it? It just seems like, we could have had this earlier still. And my only problem is really just why we still were improper about it to a certain extent.
Senator Gray.
So what happened was last week I thought the bill was already into new business, actually to old business, and there was a mix-up with our emails that didn't go through, so he didn't put it on there. And I know they brought the legislative bylaws, and I didn't know about it until after we had to close them and approve the agenda. If I would have known it would have been on there, I would have added it that same day. So sorry for the misunderstanding. I did try. I put it there the same day. I mentioned it a couple of days later, and I brought it up again today to make sure that everybody did it on there. So I do apologize for that.
Senator Lomio?
I just really hope we don't have to punish the organization for a senator's mistake.
Is there any further discussion? Senator Jones?
I know this did come up last year and we had an issue with it, but they were asking for a lot. I believe they were asking for more than what they are asking now. I understand the concern with the bill not being there on time. It happens, but let's just make note of this. Let's not make this a habit and not have to go into committee of the whole, and make sure that if we actually give OSL enough time to process things.
Senator Fitzgerald?
I'd like to yield the floor to Jaron Brandon.
As mentioned, this is something we talked a lot last year, and this is like just a small piece of, this is kind of a microcosm of a lot of discussions that are going to happen this year. And if you can get out ahead of that, that's really great, because this is pretty expensive. And for all the organizations that will come to ASUCM Senate and ask all of you for money, you're going to talk about the same thing, and eventually you're going to run out. So maybe it's this bill, maybe it's the next bill, but hopefully at some point y'all can figure out a plan. And I think that would have been great for last year, to have a plan at the beginning of the year that said this much is how much you have to fundraise, or this is how much we'll pay per person. That way some clubs don't get $1,000 per person, and some clubs don't get $100 per person for the exact same leadership opportunities as Mike was mentioning. I mean, these are great opportunities, and we have to maximize how many people can get them on campus.
Senator Gray.
I would like for you guys to think that, yes, we do manage our students' money. We manage and make the best decisions for students, but also keep in mind that we're also here to make some leaders and be role models to students outside. So this trip is going to help them become better people, better leaders, and better Bobcats. I think that's worth the money. I understand it's a lot of money. It's only $2,000, $2,400. If you guys think that's a lot of money, you guys have the power to cut. You guys have the power to say no. I'm just here to make sure that you guys understand that this is going to be a great event for these students and a great experience for them to become better leaders on this campus. And that's really what we're here to do, is form and create leaders.
Senator Lomio.
I just have a question. How far are they driving in a taxi?
I would not know.
Senator Gray.
On the top of my head, I'm not sure how far their hotel is from the event.
Is there any further discussion? Senator Fitzgerald?
What information will the student body be getting from this conference, from the 5 people going?
Senator Gray?
I could yield the floor to answer your question and your question. You could definitely ask them. You could ask them to see if they could bring some back. Last year, Jared Scissor, right? He asked the same thing about clubs every single time they went to travel. So you can definitely speak up and be a senator and ask them if you want some information. I'm sure they're glad to give it to you.
So for your question, we'll be traveling to LAX from the Fed, from the taxi. Yeah, and then that's the only time we're using the taxi, is when we travel to LAX and then
We'll use the taxi from the airport of Miami to the university or to the hotel.
So we're paying out of our pocket to go to the airport ourselves, and then
We just need a taxi
when we get there.
Senator Lomio, remember to yield to them.
Yes, I will. But I'm going to make a statement first. I just went to Miami, and it's only about a 30-minute drive if your hotel is downtown. Just letting you know. And now I yield the floor to you.
It was about 30 to 45. Yeah, so it was
Senator Gray?
If you guys ever have any other questions, I can do my best to answer them.
Senator Lomio?
So if it's $40 there, and they're taking 2 taxis, it's $80, and then they need to go back, that's $160. Am I wrong to say we could cut it by 100?
Senator Gray?
Do you have the power to do that if you choose to? Yes.
Then I move to amend the bill by cutting the transportation by $100.
Is there a second?
And taxis.
Seconded by Senator Carlson. Discussion on the motion. Is there no discussion on the motion? All those in favor of decreasing the cost for transportation by $100, was it? $100, raise your hand. Unanimously approved. So, can you add, can you make that, I guess, $30?
It was cut.
It was cut by 100.
It was 260 now.
It was 260, so you were correct.
160.
Oh, 160, yeah.
160.
And then,
Total's about 23.
With the actual, what is now in green? What the total is now in green. Or similar. Is there any further discussion in committee of the whole? Senator Fitzgerald.
How do we ensure that we're getting our money's worth for spending, I don't know how much per person now, but how do we ensure that we're getting our money's worth for how much we're spending on 5 people?
Senator Carlson.
I mean, they're going to a national organizational meeting to show them how to, run this organization, teach them the skills they need to lead it. Like they were saying, new ideas. I mean, you can ask the same thing about any organization that's going to a national convention. We expect that at that level, they're going to get the right kind of training. That's a moot point because we really can't prove that, and that's not something we've ever asked anybody in the first place.
Senator Jones.
I think something to look at and to consider is the amount of experience that you get from these type of things. In the bill, I hope you all read, it says that all this year's offices, they are all new, right? So you want them to have the adequate training with UC Merced being a growing campus to create a stable and thriving club here at UC Merced. That's like members of ASUCM. Some of us come in without any experience, and what do we have to do? We have to develop that leadership, correct? So I don't see how it's any different from developing that same leadership in a club.
Is there any further discussion? They then leave committee of the whole, right? And the bill goes with it? Okay.
The bill goes with it, or do I take the bill off?
The bill goes with it, right? You just motion to leave committee of the whole. Senator Gray.
Motion to move out of committee of the whole.
Senator Carlson?
Second.
Seconded by Senator Carlson. Is there discussion on this one, or on leaving committee of the whole? Or is it just a vote? Is there any discussion on leaving committee of the whole? All those in favor of leaving committee of the whole? Unanimously approved. We have now left committee of the whole. Senator Gray. Senator Gray.
Motion to approve bill number 5, UNICEF Campus Initiative.
Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Kornstrom. Just, sorry, there are no reports. Discussion. Senator Munoz.
It's not really. Okay, I just really look forward to them learning a lot and hopefully bringing it back to their club. And I would really love to see how their club has grown, and definitely would love to see their involvement on campus as well. So I'm really excited for them to go to this summit.
Is there any further discussion on bill number 5? If not, we'll be moving to a vote. All those in favor of approving bill number 5, raise your hand. Senator Garay, Senator Cornstrom, Senator Carlson, Senator Rumayor, Senator Lomio, Senator Munoz, Senator Palaio, Senator Jones. All those opposed? Senator Zisser, Senator Fitzgerald, Senator Kwan. Bill number 5 has been approved. All right, moving on to announcements. Senator Gray.
So last week, I saw him here earlier, unfortunately he's not here. I asked Donald, the director of Campus Activities Board, to bring us his budget and email everybody a copy or come and present it to the Senate. I just wanted to make note that he's not here today. I know that he has a meeting going on right now. So hopefully he can email that to us, because I'm really interested in seeing what his budget looks like. So he has like $325,000. It'd be great to see what he's spending out on students. So yeah.
Any more announcements? Sam.
So from the interns desk, I know you guys are super busy for ASUCM stuff, but I just wanted to kindly remind you guys to submit your biographies to ASUCMintern at ucmerced.edu. We are missing a few biographies, and I'm not sure if I should. Can I say the names of the people?
No, it's fine. We'll let them know.
Okay. Well, I'll let you know privately.
If you don't have it by next week, I'll announce them. Senator Cornstrom.
So I guess this is supposed to be earlier in the elected officers, but the ad hoc committee for strategic investment met today. It was our first meeting. I was elected chair, and Senator Carlson was elected vice chair. I don't think we got to vote in a secretary. But I just wanted to let everybody know that as a group, we unanimously voted to move forward with the ad hoc committee to allocate an amount of funds. Today we discussed allocating $70,000 from the carry forward. So you guys can be expecting a line item for that on next week's agenda. And we discussed the various departments that we would be getting in contact with, and that was pretty much it. We'll have more to report on when we meet later this week.
Hey, Senator Lomio.
I have a few announcements. Donald Qualch asked me to say this. I'd first like to start off with a round of applause for him for planning the New Beginning statue, him and the rest of CAB. Thank you. He wanted me to let you guys know that the entire budget is going to look to be around $300,000. That's lowballing it, and $340,000 at a high. So it's still coming out. Treats and Beats, that's coming up soon. They're budgeting that at between $25,000 and $30,000. I believe he'll be here next week to talk about it more. I'd also like to say that if you don't have a voter registration card, you can always go onto the Secretary of State's website and register to vote online. So that's an option for you. And that concludes my public announcements.
Senator Gray.
The College Republicans are having a 9/11 thing happening tomorrow morning at 9 to 2 p.m. So definitely be there. We're going to put flags out in the quad area. So please stop by and come do that.
Senator Kwan.
I'd like to remind you all of the Senate action I'll be proposing next week. Also, to another further announcement was just as Senator Gray had an email mix-up, I also had an email mix-up, and there was supposed to be new business bill that I was proposing along with Daisy for the AMSA conference. So because of that email mix-up, I would like to ask your forgiveness, but I am going to try to push that through committee of the whole next week. So I am going to do my best to get, I have resent it to Zach, but I will also try and put it on the Facebook page to give you as much time as possible. So please look over it in your committee meetings.
As for that email mix-up, the email for some reason never made it to my actual account. I don't know why. I had an issue with my email this weekend that I fixed with IT already, so we shouldn't be having that problem again. Manuel hit a similar issue last week, but hopefully that's resolved. Steve?
two things. First of all, remember your Facebook group is private, and the point of new local business is to get public comment on your bills. So things to your private Facebook page. You're not doing business service. You should be able to push stuff.
Is there ability for me to put that on the ASUCM webpage?
I can put it up. Okay.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
Throwing that out there. Let your students, your constituents talk about things that you're doing. If you know you're going to do it next week. And then the second piece I just forgot to mention, for the leadership conference, we require a $20 deposit, and we know that there are some students that can't afford that. And so if you know of students who want to come to the conference and can't afford the $20 deposit, they can come meet with me, and we are allowing students to sign a fee waiver form that is basically them just looking me in the eyes and saying, I'm going to come to the conference, so that we can be a good steward of the money of our donor, Marlo Souza. So if you know anybody that wants to come, doesn't have $20 because they want to eat in the next couple of weeks, send them to me and we can still get them to the conference.
Senator Gray.
Motion to adjourn.
Senator Jones.
I don't know how many of you are interested, but there's a Cleo Hastings trip that happens every year. Juniors, you'll be able to take a practice LSAT, get feedback, and then freshmen and sophomores, you'll have like meetings with like the dean of UC Hastings. You'll also get an opportunity to like ask questions and things like that. So if you guys are interested, you should check that out. I believe the link was sent out because I did get it. I went last year. It was a really good experience, so y'all should go.
Senator Carlson.
Sigma Chi is hosting the first ever 3-on-3 volleyball tournament September 19th in the Mariposa lawn. Come on out, bring your friends. We want teams of up to 5. You can sub 2 people in. We'll have music. It'll be a lot of fun. And just put down $5. We'll save you a spot. We'll give it back to you if you show up. And if you don't, we're going to keep your $5. So show up.
Are there any further announcements? Okay, we're moving to adjournment then. Senator Gray.
Motion to adjourn.
For a second, seconded by Senator Carlson. Adjourned at 8:06.